Welcome to part one of this three-part series on subliminal personal development, how it works, what it does, and why it matters. In this journey, we're going to take you on a deep dive into our experience of experiencing the world. We'll find out how it works, what actually happens, and why psychologists and neuroscience call our experience of living a controlled hallucination. Now, it's a fascinating journey, and I've taken it and continue to take it many times, and every time I do, I learn something new. So my intention over the course of the next 3 videos is to spark your curiosity, ignite your interest, and fire you up with the kind of excitement that I feel as I realise that by understanding the truths about how we human beings work, we enable ourselves. We enable ourselves and each other to move toward the kind of life, the kind of societies, and the kind of world we would all love to live in. In this 10-minute video, as we begin the journey, I'm going to share with you a story. The story of how subliminal personal development came into being and why, as an approach to personal development, it's so effective at the simple intention of helping people enjoy a life well lived. But first, I need to check something with you before we start, because subliminal personal development actually only works if you were ever one of these. Okay. Now, I'm going to assume that you were once an infant, and therefore you're going to be able to relate to what it is that I'm about to share with you, because it's all about you. You, when you were an infant. You see, between the ages of 0 and 3, you were in what developmental psychologists call a learning superstate. Now, you learnt all about face recognition, voice recognition, pattern recognition. You learned all about relationships and how they worked. You learned how to get attention, how to get the things that you wanted to negotiate. The list goes on and on. You even threw in learning a completely foreign language fluently. And you did all of that without a single self-help book, without a learning framework, without a personal development plan. You didn't even have a 7-point plan for success. What an incredible thing you did. Before you were even 3 years old, you learned all about how the world works and how you work in it. Now imagine what would be possible if you could learn now how you learned then. Well, guess what? You can. And today, thanks to the incredible advances in modern science, we now know how you did it, what made it so easy, and why it works so well. And in this 3-part series of videos, you're going to come to realize that it's so deeply ingrained in how we work as human beings that you don't even have to work at it. Now, it's a story that began a long time ago. So come with me on a journey back through hundreds of millions of years of evolution to when the primitive brain was having a bit of a problem. Now, the problem was that our increasingly sophisticated and sensitive senses were overloading the simple brain with so much data that it just couldn't process it all. Now, evolutionary biologists tell us that this traffic jam, this bottleneck in processing power, led to the emergence of what we call today the cerebral cortex. Now, that was an incredibly effective evolutionary adaptation, and it gave vertebrates a quantum leap forward in the Who's Fit for Survival game show that is Darwinian evolution. The tectum, as it was called in early vertebrates, was the beginning of what we call today the conscious mind, and it enabled them to selectively choose and organise what it was they paid attention to. The rest of the sensory information, bypassed conscious awareness altogether, and went straight into what we call today the subconscious. So it's thanks to this little thing that this little thing is so brilliant at learning. And now, after millions of years of refinement, our conscious and subconscious minds work brilliantly if we let them. The trouble is today we have this belief in the primacy of the conscious mind, and we have the work ethic that personal development and growth has to be worked at. It needs to be hard work. And as a consequence, we try to get the conscious mind to do all of the work. Well, no wonder. It's so hard. And a lot of the times we just give up. So, to correct this limiting belief and harness the rapidly emerging insights that we're now getting from the neuroscience of consciousness, subliminal personal development redresses the balance and deliberately stops the conscious mind from taking over by opening up the subconscious mind and letting it do what it's brilliant at, just like it did when you were an infant. Here's a simple way of looking at it. The world of personal development focuses on the conscious mind. The world of mindfulness works at a subconscious level. Subliminal personal development is a balanced blend that gets both of these worlds working together. Each of them are incredible at what they do, and they each have their role to play. But the simple truth is that millions of years of evolution designed a system that uses both to do what they are each brilliant at. I'll take you on a deeper dive into how each mind works in part 2, because I want to finish this video by sharing with you the underlying process that drives subliminal personal development. Recognize this guy? Well, in order to achieve the incredible theories and insights that are his wonderful legacy, he was famous for his imaginative and creative thought experiments. They enabled him to take ideas and concepts that were totally outside current beliefs about how the world, how the universe, and even how the atom worked. By using these thought experiments, Einstein was able to play around with new ideas in new ways, just to see what would happen. And out of that playful curiosity, quantum leaps in our understanding of this magnificence that we're all a part of were realized. When you're looking to find out the fundamental truths about how we human beings work, I can think of no better role model to follow. So thought experiments are at the heart of subliminal personal development, and these thought experiments bring together ideas and insights from right across the spectrum of human inquiry, from modern empirical science on one side to ancient intuitive wisdom on the other, looking for connections and points of intersection that reveal deeper truths about how the world works and how we work in it. So, as you conduct your own thought experiments on your own life, you can wonder what exciting things you might discover about just what it is you're really capable of. It's the kind of playful curiosity you had as an infant, and there is nothing to stop you having it again. The structure of the Lab of Life's thought experiments and how they work is based on another field of scientific inquiry called behavioral science. Now, behavioral science gains its insights through experiential experiments, and in these experiments, scientists give subjects some form of stimulus, something to do or experience, and then simply notice what happens as a result of the stimulus. Whatever they notice, they note down and then integrate into the theory that they're exploring. In the Lab of Life app, Subliminal Personal Development uses the same three-stage approach: stimulate, notice, integrate in its thought experiments, deliberately directing the stimulate stage at the conscious mind with short, thought-provoking videos, and deliberately targeting the integrate stage at the subconscious mind with guided reflections called deep dives. So, how Subliminal Personal Development works has been deliberately designed to directly target the right mind with the right job, harnessing hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Sometimes that's the conscious mind, sometimes that's the subconscious mind. Does it work? Well, as I always say, and I'm not being flippant, it does if you don't work at it. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but that intuition says more about your social conditioning than it does about the neuroscience of learning, development and growth. And what might be the result of not working at it? Well, you already know the answer to that question. You already know what the result would be because you used subliminal personal development from the moment you were born. You just didn't know that that's what you were doing. So all we're really doing here is helping you rediscover what you already know. But creating the kind of life you would love to live, well, that's child's play.